If you have been watching the PGA Tour lately, you can feel the heavy tension in the air. Something massive is shifting right beneath our feet, and it goes way beyond one player skipping a week. This week is supposed to be the beating heart of the legendary Florida swing. It used to be the exact moment when the golf world collectively realized we were officially on the road to Augusta. But instead, the energy is completely dead. Superstar players are quietly withdrawing. Rumors of massive schedule cuts are leaking out of boardrooms. And a historic tournament that once felt absolutely untouchable is suddenly fighting for its life. What is happening right now at the Cognizant Classic is not just a random bad week. It is a terrifying preview of what the entire PGA Tour is going to look like in just a couple of years. Two massive developments are colliding right now, and whether you love the new era of golf or absolutely hate it, it is coming for your favorite tournaments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because we are breaking down exactly who is on the chopping block and why the tour is about to look completely unrecognizable. Let's get into it. To understand how bad the situation is right now, you have to remember what this event used to be. For years, we all called it the Honda Classic. Back in the mid-2010s, this tournament was absolute appointment viewing. It kicked off the Florida swing at PGA National, and the field was always absolutely stacked. We are talking about prime Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, and Adam Scott all teeing it up. In 2014 alone, this single tournament boasted 7 of the top 10 players in the entire world. It felt like a home game for half the tour, because so many of the guys live right down the street in Jupiter. But then, the PGA Tour panicked. LIV Golf entered the chat, and the tour desperately scrambled to create the signature event model in 2023 to keep their top stars happy. They pumped massive $20 million purses into specific weeks. And in doing so, they accidentally shoved the Cognizant Classic into what players are now calling the death slot. This historic tournament now sits directly after 2 grueling, massive money West Coast events, and right before the $20 million Arnold Palmer Invitational and the $25 million Players Championship. If you are Scotty Scheffler or Xander Schauffele, and you just ground out 3 straight weeks of high-pressure golf, you are absolutely not showing up to PGA National to grind for a fraction of the money when Bay Hill is looming next week. The math just doesn't make sense anymore. And the devastating reality of that calendar slot hit incredibly hard this week. 3 of the top betting favorites, Adam Scott, Ben Griffin, and Jacob Bridgeman, all suddenly withdrew on Monday. That is the kind of massive momentum killer that ruins a broadcast before Thursday morning even arrives. Look at the current field. There is exactly 1 player inside the top 30 in the world teeing it up this week, Ryan Gerard. There are only 8 players from the top 50. Yes, fan favorites like Brooks Koepka and Billy Horschel are there, but the overall star power has completely evaporated. But here is the detail that makes this situation almost insulting for the local fans. 12 of the top 30 players in the world live in Palm Beach County. They live within a 10-mile radius of the golf course, and they are refusing to play. While the Cognizant Classic struggles to find a single top 10 player, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy's brand new indoor tech-driven golf league, TGL, is literally playing matches just 5 miles down the road at the SoFi Center. TGL currently has 6 of the top 10 players in the world hitting balls into a simulator screen this week, while completely ignoring the actual historic PGA Tour event happening in their own backyard. But this isn't just about the top guys being tired. This is about a highly calculated, ruthless master plan that is currently being drafted behind closed doors. The PGA Tour recently brought in new CEO Brian Rowlap. He spent 22 years as an executive in the NFL, and he is bringing a ruthless football mentality to the game of golf. Rowlap firmly believes in one core philosophy: less is more. In the NFL, every single game matters, because there are only 17 of them. Scarcity creates massive value. Roll-Up has openly stated that trying to compete head-to-head against the NFL for television ratings in the fall is a complete waste of time. So he and Tiger Woods, who is the chairman of the Future Competitions Committee, are actively plotting to completely reshape the tour, starting in 2027. The plan? Slash the schedule down to just 22 or 25 elite events. They want to start the season right around the Super Bowl and completely wrap it up before Labor Day. They want to abandon smaller markets and push heavily into massive cities like Chicago and Boston. Fewer cards, fewer starts, more scarcity. But if you shrink the pie, a lot of historic tournaments are going to starve to death. Which brings us to the terrifying reality facing the Cognizant Classic. This isn't just fan speculation on Twitter. The future of this event is legitimately under formal review. When the 2027 schedule overhaul hits, there are really only 3 options for this tournament. 1. It miraculously survives in its current, terrible calendar slot. 2. It gets moved to the fall, which is essentially the minor leagues of the new PGA Tour. Or 3. It gets completely eliminated from existence. And that third option is the one nobody in South Florida wants to say out loud. Joel Page, a former managing director at PGA National, recently admitted that the tournament is in a highly vulnerable position. He even suggested that the event may have simply run its course. The tour is also bringing a massive signature event back to Gerard down in Miami. Is there really room for 2 massive tournaments separated by just 85 miles on a shrinking schedule? Probably not. What we are watching right now is the brutal, natural selection of professional golf. The signature event model did exactly what it was designed to do. It gathered all the superstars into a few massive, unmissable events. But the dark side of that model is currently bleeding out on the grass at PGA National. We are losing the connective tissue of the season. We are losing the historic stops that built the identity of the tour. The Cognizant Classic proved for 2 decades that it could host 200,000 screaming fans and deliver legendary duels. But in the new era of less is more, tradition doesn't pay the bills. As a fan, you have to ask yourself, is the sacrifice worth it?